Hey, I'm Nick Millard, and welcome back to PvDPOV, where we bring you new insights into the coolest little city in the smallest state. Whether you're a local looking to uncover hidden gems, or a visitor eager to dive into our vibrant culture, we've got you covered. Each week, we're chatting with the movers and shakers in Providence, from restaurant owners to hoteliers and everyone in between. And it is definitely tough doing the whole intro by myself and not having somebody else to chat with along with me. So bear with me for this one too, but I'm recording this intro a little bit after we did the recording of this next podcast. So Brian Lavin and I sat down with Bradley VanDerStad from the Providence Tour Company. He's the founder, he's the owner, he grew up from scratch, and we talked about the whole process of, how you start a tour company, what goes into a tour company, the thoughts and the ideas and the growing pains that come along with it too. And we also chat about some great new fun ideas that he has for some tours through the city, the difference between kind of giving a tour to someone that lives here or giving a tour to someone that is, visiting from outside. And it's really interesting to see the amount of people that he gets that are locals and not just the visitors. He's got some great ideas for some new stuff. He's got, I won't spoil it too much for you, but he's got a speakeasy dinner tour coming. And then he's got another tour, a murder mystery tour too. I know everybody loves those podcasts of the, the true crime stuff, but he's got some stuff from a little bit way back then. So turn us up and experience Providence from a whole new perspective. Welcome back to PvDPOV. Today we have Bradley VanDerStad from Providence Tour Company here to chat about all things Providence Tour Company and Providence. He's got a lot of ideas, a lot of fun stuff to chat about. Can you just kind of give us a little introduction about yourself, what you are, who you are, and what your company is all about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So my name is Bradley. I am, let's see, how many years has it been? 2018, I started Providence Tour Company. Started as just kind of a hobby for me. I like Providence a lot. I have it tattooed on my arm.
Oh, wow.
And
I was wondering if that was...
Yeah, this is the outline, just the city. People are like, that's not Rhode Island. And no, it's not. It's like just Providence.
You got a blob on your arm.
Yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, I have to explain it a lot. Yeah.
What do you got against Newport?
I'm a pro Providence guy. Yeah, there's not enough of us, I think. There's not enough people.
We're
who are
here.
Just like Providence. Not, anything else.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Small group. We get a little support group together. Yeah. But yeah. So I love Providence a lot. I came here for college, Johnson & Wales.
Shout out,
Jay Woo. That's right. And and so I just really fell in love with the city. I'm originally from a suburb in New Jersey, and I just really was able to plug into something bigger here in Providence. So I really fell in love with it. I started doing tours 2018. It was just myself. I did them for free. It was just a free tour for anyone who was interested to come by, and hopefully they would leave a tip at the end. Tip-based tours. They didn't, unfortunately.
Tip suggested, please.
Yeah, please give one. And some people did, but for the most part, people did not. I don't think it might be like an American thing. Like if people don't ask for it, then if you don't ask for it and you don't assign value to that experience, right? Because like a tour can be, I don't know. People don't know how much a tour is worth,
right?
So if you say it's zero, then it's zero. Thanks so much, and then they leave.
Exactly.
I wonder how that would go in like today's world, where like the iPad has a tip for literally everything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
that's why I pay with my phone at Starbucks, because then you skip the whole tip situation.
You don't have when they go, this is just going to ask you a couple of questions, and it's literally just like, how much do you want to tip?
They look away.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to do
that. No, it's all good. Yeah. So the tipping thing didn't work out so well. So we changed the model. We started charging $20 for it, then $25, and then we started hiring people. And we learned, another lesson I learned along the way was that people take tours not for me. Right. So I thought that the tour was for me when I first started writing it. I wrote this 3.5 hour monster of a tour, all deep, heavy history, because I like history, So I was talking about Roger Williams and Buddy Cianci, and just really going for it forever. And that also didn't work. People don't have that attention span, So I had to dial it back and change it. And I figured out that I didn't want to be talking about stuff that was already being talked about by other tour companies. So I wanted to offer something niche, something that would speak to an individual. So when someone comes to Providence, they want to take a tour that speaks to them as an individual, and it's a reflection of their own tastes and choices, right? So instead of just like a welcome to Providence tour, we started offering food tours with certain informational stories associated with them. And that came to Crime and Cuisine on Federal Hill.
Sure. Gotcha.
Which is, which
Makes
is
sense.
our most popular tour right now. It's a true crime history of the Federal Hill neighborhood, and along with tastings at some of the best Italian food in the country.
No, that's really cool. What restaurants do you guys stop at, just for some idea there?
Yeah, sure. So we stop at Trattoria Appia. That's our first one. Yeah, do you know the manager there?
Trattoria Zuma.
I always have to pause for a second. Like, which one is it?
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, where's that?
Was Zuma, now Appia.
Gotcha.
And the manager Dino there is incredible. Really nice Italian guy. He takes care of us when we come in there. We have a great relationship. He's actually going to be catering my wedding, which is coming up in September too.
No
yeah,
way.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
love that.
Yeah, nice to have some partnerships.
Yeah.
And so that's a really great stop. We sit down there. We have penne and meatballs, and everyone gets to try a little bit of the family style sort of sit down place. And then we go over to Venda ravioli. It's a classic,
of course,
classic. Yeah, you go in there, you can't help but feel like you're transported. It's really, the interior of the space is designed after an Italian deli, so really cool. And you're sitting next to the fountain there at Di Pasquale Square. Then we walk over to Roma Ristorante. We stop at Napolitano's Brooklyn Pizza. As New Jerseyan originally, I have very strong feelings about
pizza.
Types of pizza. Yeah.
Well, let's dive into that a little bit more. What do you think about the Providence pizza here? What's your opinions? Is this a hot take now?
It is I guess it is a hot take. This might be controversial. Yeah, because I love Providence. There are some people who say that Providence pizza is its own thing, and I don't know, Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, I think we're now turning this into the hot seat now.
It is the hot seat. Yeah, and I'm happy to talk. I don't know. I love New Jersey pizza.
I feel like pizza. Isn't it a New Jersey, New York thing though? Like what a lot of people tell me about it is the water. From like that area that goes into the dough changes the way the pizza tastes, and like that can't be translated to other places.
It might be giving them a little too much credit, It's not like it's in the earth that
right.
Minerals. It's the minerals.
It's the minerals. It can't be replicated.
I just don't understand why no one has like thought to bring that
to
water
do that, right?
Elsewhere,
bottle it or whatever. Yeah.
It feels like we could make that happen.
I think we could.
I think we need to test that now. Maybe we could do that on an episode. We can test the New Jersey New York water and bring it up here.
Do bagels too while you're doing
two
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The water's just saltier down there.
I guess
just like the people.
Yeah. Comes with the salt.
I do think though the Providence pizza scene is a little all over the place, right?
There's a lot of
there's
diversity.
Rhode Island, kind of like we talked about beach pizza, on the podcast before. Like Caserta's is kind of the OG, right? Like that's like that vibe, but Providence as a pizza destination, they got a little bit of everything.
They do.
There's like you can get almost anything.
There's a lot of different kinds. Like Pizza Marvin is doing good stuff over on Wickerman Street. Yeah, there's a lot of good pizza in downtown. My favorite is Napolitano's. Personally, it's a personal decision. I'll deal with the comments later.
No, we do love Napolitano's. We've been there.
Absolutely.
They've participated in our we used to have a Providence Pizza Week back in the day.
Oh, gotcha.
A couple years ago, and we tried to kind of bring like pizza up as like a destination. Didn't really work so much, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Keep trying things here and there, but Napolitano's was great. I love their stuff.
Yeah, I like it a lot. That's my favorite pizza in Providence. I like the thin crust, just maybe because of my roots.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
We won't hold it against you.
Right,
hey, you like what you like, man.
Yeah, you like what you like.
Right.
Don't. My wife says, don't yuck other people's yum. Don't yuck someone's yum.
Don't yuck the yum.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all my guests get that too.
Awesome.
And then we stop over at Pastiche for.
That's a great
classic.
Great
that's a solid. Like
lineup.
Federal Hill lineup.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And the vendors are incredible. Like they take such careful care of us. We couldn't do it. Obviously, we couldn't do it without them.
Right.
But that relationship doesn't have to be more than transactional. But the managers over there, all the staff, all the teams and teams of people, we just so appreciate them. I
think it makes it so much more special, though, when it's not transactional. Right. When it's that partnership that kind of like they understand the benefits of bringing a tour group in, and the residuals that come with it, and then how you can continue to push business their way. I mean, it's a huge conduit back and forth.
Absolutely.
So. And how was that kind of starting up? Because I know you started in 2018 when you started giving tours yourself. So like, what's that aspect of like starting a tour company from scratch and like just kind of like walking up to these places and it's like, hey, I'm giving tours. Can I just like come into these places and be like, hey, just like bring people in? Like, how did that work, and how did you build the relationships with, I guess the owners there?
Yeah, well, what's nice about tours is that it's very low barrier to entry, right? Like anyone can do it.
Right.
If it's good, it'll stick around probably. But it's very low barrier to entry. You just do what you said. You walk in and you're like, hey, I've got this idea for a tour, and it's easier for me now. I'm working on new products coming up, new tour products, and I can say on this food tour we do this, so we'd like to do this. But the initial one is just walk in and say, hey, I've got this crazy idea. I've never done it before, and what'd you think? And it's nothing for a vendor to say okay to that. There's some risks. They have some reputational risk on the line when they let someone do something like this. So I'm glad it worked out. There have been some changes. We've had to we standardize exactly how much we pay for different amounts of people, and we tried tipping. We tried consistent tipping and allergies and communication, like all these different things. We've kind of worked out along the way. We've worked out some bumps, but now it feels very familial going over there and walking into Roma. Yeah. Oliver comes out from behind the counter. It's like, Bradley, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's like really nice. Yeah,
I feel like you get that a lot in Providence and in Rhode Island as a whole, but in Providence, the connectedness of people, like you said, you're the owner comes out from behind the thing and can talk to you and everything like that. Do you see that a little bit more here than maybe in like New Jersey? I know it's been a while since you've been down over that way, but like comparing it to two different cities.
Yeah, no, certainly. I think that Providence does have this sort of very community, like the strong community feeling, especially on Federal Hill in particular. Like it's a very intimate community over there. It's like a lot of people who they've grown up together a lot of the time. They know each other, and it's tight knit, certainly. Yeah.
Do you find that that Federal Hill vibe spills over into some of the other neighborhoods that are, like the East Side or, I don't know, like Hope Street or something like that? Are you over in those areas too and finding a similar kind of community feel?
Yes. I used to live over by Hope Street, and I found, especially through like community conversations when there's like, for example, they were trying to do bike lanes over there, and then everyone was coming out and had their opinions about it. Right? And through that, I was on the neighborhood board over there too. So I met a lot of the folks over there. So there is a sort of a community, but in Federal Hill, it's kind of special, I think, because of there's the larger identity of being in Federal Hill and being, some couple of generations removed immigrants and or first generation immigrants, and they have a lot of strong ties. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that makes sense.
What are some other tours that you have? I know we talked about the one on Federal Hill, but are there what are some other tours that you have as an option for people?
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot.
Right, well, I mean, how long do we got here?
How much time do we have?
We got like 25 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll try to condense it.
Attention spans are kind of low.
No, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, as a tour guide. Yeah. So the other tours that we offer right now, in addition to Crime and Cuisine, is it's called Prohibition in Providence. This one has it's fun. I did a lot of history. I like history again, so that it came through on that, where it's talking a lot about Prohibition history and the experience that the city had with Prohibition while tasting at downtown bars and
that's
drinks.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll do like cocktails and beers, and we go malted barley and now Track 15 and Moonshine Alley, Plant City. So that's a really nice thing, but a lot of the feedback I'm getting on that is where's the speakeasy? Because people, when they hear Prohibition, they want a speakeasy. So I might have to like tailor that one a little bit more, maybe a little less educational, and get people into some speakeasies, because we do have a couple in Providence.
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few. So I might, and I've done some initial outreach, and they seem really open to working with us. There's a brand new one on Federal Hill called Loma. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one yet.
I've heard the name. I haven't been there yet.
It's really cool. You walk in there and it's on Spruce, or the one that's not Atwell's, right? I think that's Spruce. Yeah. And it's just a flat door. It just says the name on it, and then you go down the steps, and it's a really intimate, small little place. Yeah. I hope you guys check that out.
Yeah.
We got Justine's over in Olneyville, and there's a couple of speakeasies. So I'm thinking about going that direction. So we'll see. The other non-food tours that we run are currently the Creative Capital Tour, Art and Architecture in Downtown. That's really interesting. People love learning the city's history through the lens of its art and architecture. It's tough as a tour company to retain architects to give those tours. You know, it's like
I bet.
It's like a really high, like, architects are challenging you can't just get an architect. I don't know. And that's the challenge I've had. Yeah, I'm trying to hire architects for that, but I also want people to be bombastic and provide a really positive experience. So we're working
not
on
knocking the architects, but I don't see that group of people as like engaging tour
generally,
guide.
They're great. They're like very intellectual people for the most part. But so and do they have time in the middle of the day to give architecture tours? Is another question. So we've had success. We have one architecture intern, and then we have a couple of other tour guides who are just generally good storytellers, and we're trying to beef that up a little bit too.
Yeah, and that must be a struggle. Kind of, you have an idea, like you said, of the architecture and everything like that. Do you hire someone specifically for that, or like bring them in for that specific thing, or do you just train your tour guides operators on that topic? Like, has that been a struggle for you?
I wouldn't say it's been a struggle. It's been definitely a growing point. I originally came into this believing that any single person could give a tour if they had been trained. And I think I've pivoted from that perspective very slightly. I think the vast majority of people can do that. But architecture in particular, that tour is a very demanding intellectual experience, because if someone goes on the crime and cuisine tour, they're generally satisfied with any amount of crime history content that they're given. They're like, wow, that's really cool.
A couple of fun crime stories.
Yeah, they're like, okay, cool.
Some great Italian food. And
it's not hard to win those people over. We can meet expectations and exceed them fairly easily on that experience. On the architecture tour, people want to know that the person giving it can answer any question about architecture that they have, So I've done a lot of research personally. I'm not an architect. I did a lot of research personally to write a great script. But if anyone turns at any point and says, "What's that?" and that's not on the script, and the person's like, "I don't know," So that's been a bit of a challenge. We're working to try to do better with our recruiting and our training, and to make sure people have a broader base of understanding. But I'm limited by what I know about.
So it's definitely a tough thing to pack everything into one tour.
Right.
Like you said, if you can't answer a question, it's nothing against the person that's giving the tour, but it's just there's so much history that you don't know.
Yeah, right. So much. Yeah, a tremendous amount. You could point to any building downtown and be like, "What's that building?" And if the person doesn't know, you're going to be like, "Well,
that's what I mean. There's so many cool and like different buildings too, right? Like there's a lot of different genre of like architecture. And
So
it's
hundreds of years. It's like,
challenge.
It is. It's really challenging. So we try to start the tour by saying like, there's a lot of building history here. Like, we're going to do our best to talk about it all under 2 hours, but it might be hard. We're not going to get to everything. We try to set those expectations. Anyway, something that we're working on. And then the other tours we have are Haunted Authors of Providence. We talk about H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe on the East Side. And we call our Hidden History tour of Providence our Voices of Resilience, which is Black history, Narragansett history, women's history, a lot of different narratives that are often overlooked by traditional Rhode Island history books.
Gotcha. I love that.
It's really interesting. There's one story about a guy named Limbrick Tillinghast. You might recognize
Tillinghast.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
might recognize a Tillinghast building, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of Tillinghast content. Tillinghast, one of the initial founders of Providence, a guy named Pardon Tillinghast. He had the first wharf in the city. And his son, Captain Joseph Tillinghast, had an enslaved man named Limbrick who took his last name Tillinghast. And it's in the building across from Plant City, down by the Providence pedestrian bridge. That was Captain Tillinghast's house.
Okay.
And Limbrick lived in the top floor of that building. And so we can point to Limbrick's window where he would have lived in the top floor in the attic. It was cold in the winter and hot in the summer, but at least he had a view of the harbor. And he ended up actually fighting in the Revolutionary War when Rhode Island passed a law that said you can send enslaved people in your place to fight in the War of the Revolution.
Wow.
So Captain Tillinghast got out of Dodge, sent Limbrick.
Say, hey, Limbrick.
Hey, you doing anything? No. Yeah, you're going to fight in the Revolution. Yes, Limbrick fought for our freedoms as an enslaved person.
That's unbelievable.
It is crazy. Yeah, so that's a really great story, and I love telling it. And there's a couple other ones like it on that Hidden History tour.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool.
That's great. I'm interested now. I want to hear some more.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, on that, are there any? What's your maybe not favorite story to tell, but like favorite fact that you found out about Providence, either history or, I mean, obviously history, but like, that you love telling, or that is like maybe something that people don't realize.
The thing that like blows people's minds.
Yeah.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, not to take away from your tours.
No.
We don't. You got to book it. You got to book the tour to find out.
Yeah. No,
leave
not
out
like
every other word.
Yeah. I gotta find out. No, I guess so. I really like the Limerick one, actually. It's one of my favorites. I do like talking about, on the Hidden History Tour, I like talking about names of places and the value of different names and what they mean. So when we stand on the pedestrian bridge and we look out and we say, behind us are the two rivers that come together, the Mashasik and the Woonasquatucket. And these are Narragansett names. Mashasik means moose hunting ground, which means that the river actually went up to an area where they would have been hunting moose. Or Woonasquatucket is where the tidal water ends. So it's the confluence of salt and fresh. And Narragansett people always named things after how they were using that thing. So it's very practically named. And that would probably indicate that they called it that because that's where there was good shellfishing at that space. And then the Seekonk River is black goose. It's a Seki for black and conch for goose.
Okay.
And goose is conch because that's the sound that the goose
makes.
makes.
Right. That's very
very literal.
So black goose, they were probably getting down feathers from this area where the geese were coming through. So that's really kind of neat. Hidden history, I think, is particularly of interest to local people, or at least it should be, because people interact with this content almost every day and just don't realize how much history is quite underneath it.
What would you say the mix is of like your typical tour audience between like visitors and residents? Or is it more like day trippers coming in?
It's like half and half,
really?
Actually. Yeah. About half of our folks come from locally or regionally. Boston and Providence are the two biggest locations where people are living when they come to us. And the other half are people who are traveling through.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it is cool. It surprises me.
I would have thought more visitors.
Yes, I agree. I would have thought more visitors.
On the face of it.
But especially, Crime and Cuisine, again, driving a lot of my business right now. And so many locals want to hear about that history because they already understand that it's kind of cool and interesting.
Yeah.
And
I think it's great. I mean, the more locals that can take advantage of like a tour or like tourist type activities, it just like sets a better baseline, but it also builds pride and it builds understanding and it builds all kinds of like cool community things that go along with it. So I think it's great. I'm happy to hear that.
There's a lot of investment in people's own history. People really like learning about Rhode Island.
And to the locals, it's a great to build that pride, because a lot of the times we, as a local, sometimes people don't have the best opinion of their own state and their own place.
You get a little cynical,
but it's good to show that pride in the place. And like we were saying, like we're Providence people. We like Providence. We love Providence. Like,
yes.
So those tours that you had, you say we're working on a couple newer ones.
What's to come?
What's maybe like a little snippet,
sneak preview here? Yeah. All right, you got it. So.
We like to break news on this cast.
Sure. Everyone, hold on your hats. Right. We got news coming out. Yeah. All right, so we've got a couple different projects in the works right now. We're trying to introduce, we're calling a Federal Hill dinner stroll. So we're going to have a 4-course Italian meal over 4 different restaurants. That's going to be in place of dinner. So we're making some changes from Crime and Cuisine. It's going to be, instead of tastings, it's going to actually substitute a meal. And it's going to be on weekday evenings. We're taking out the tour content for conference guests who have just been talked at for 8 hours.
Love that. What a great concept.
Something more than just a dinner, but not like where they have to sit and listen to more information, right? So we're going to experiment with that. We're launching our test run the end of this month with some of my friends who are really looking forward to it. And that's cool. And so hopefully we'll put that out by September.
That's really good, because like tours are great. Tours and the history of tours, I kind of go back to like my honeymoon when we were in Venice and Rome and Greece and everything. And by the end of it, I was kind of like toured out and like historied out. And I'm like, I just want something, or I just want to go and sit on the piazza and like do whatever. Like, but that's a great thing, especially for conference goers that want to just experience the city and they don't really know. So like where. So you'd be like a 4-course meal, like 1 restaurant per. I think that's perfect, because you can just, say they can experience Federal Hill without having to like just pick one restaurant.
Right,
it's
right.
It's a
it's
tough
like,
decision.
when you're in town for 2 nights for a conference, right? Yeah. And you want to get out and experience the city. That's a big decision where you're going to go to dinner, right? Yes. It's like not the most catastrophic thing, but you do, you want to pick a good spot, right? This is your one chance. So to be able to experience a few in a curated opportunity, I would sign up for that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's something you can come back to as well. It's not like you heard the tour and you don't want to hear the tour.
And
again.
building it into that conference audience is brilliant. Nice. These guys can help you out, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking.
Once you get that ironed
Let's
out,
make that happen.
Sure
right? We'll Carly's going to be all over it.
I would love that. Yeah. So we'll work on that. That's what's coming up. We're working on a ghost tour. I've broken down. I don't believe in ghosts, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like doing ghost tours. But every time I talk to someone and they're like, oh, you have a tour business. I'm like, yeah. Like, how about the ghost tour?
Gotcha.
And it's just like, oh my God, so we are working on a ghost tour. It is going to be, as I'm writing it, I might actually have to get someone else to help me write this because I'm always like, and this didn't actually happen, in my own writing. Yeah. So we are working on that. Hopefully it's going to be cool. We're thinking about partnering with Track 15 to end it with a Halloween party with a cocktail, and we would just end up there and let go into that. So
would that be just like a seasonal thing that you're working on?
Depending. I mean, ghost tours are so popular. I would say they're probably one of the most popular tours you can take. They're of a niche thing.
We love Providence Ghost Tour down over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Courtney, friend of the cast.
Yeah, friend of the cast.
Friend of the cast.
She was on like 7 episodes.
She was one of the OGs.
One of the OGs. Yeah, Courtney's great. I have a great Courtney and I talk. And so we would do ours downtown. We wouldn't want to step on her toes or anything like that. Get out of the way. So I think there's room for more ghost tour content.
People love to be scared.
Yeah, people love it. Yeah, they love the content.
Love it.
Yeah, there are some good stories. And actually, there's one that I'm looking to tell on the ghost tour that I'm also looking to. So we did buy a van. We bought a 15-passenger van. Yeah, I'm still working with the state to get it commercially authorized. Basically. But we're also doing a murder mystery beer tour. That's the plan for that. And the idea behind that is we're doing a beer tour and we're telling this true crime story that we're also going to tell in the ghost tour.
I love that.
Yeah. So the true crime story is 1890s Providence. Jerathmal Barnaby.
Jerathmal Barnaby. That's a great name.
Yeah, JB.
The parents of the parents
Sherry.
just like were there. I'm gonna name my next child Jerathmal.
Yeah, so Jerathmal Barnaby's a cool character in Providence history. He ran for governor a couple times. He's got Barnaby's Castle on the West End. It's the that was his house.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And, they do tours of that now too, right? And it's an event space, right?
Yeah, they were doing for a while. They were doing Halloween parties at the house. Yeah, I think that the organizer has since moved on from that, so I don't think those are happening anymore. But it is a cool house, and he had like a whole stable behind. He loved harness horses. Nice. But the more interesting part was that after he passed, he left his fortune to his daughter and son-in-law. But then his wife kind of got cut out, and then she advocated to get a larger piece of it, which she did. But that caused some consternation, and she actually ended up getting poisoned.
Oh,
yeah. Man. Someone sent her a bottle of whiskey in the mail that had been tainted with arsenic, and she was like freewheeling after her husband passed away. She was like a whole new woman. She was like doing great things, and she drank the bottle, and she ended up dying. And it was the first murder by mail in U.S. history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fallout. There's like the court case first have to decide, are we going to do this in Providence where we think it was mailed, or we're going to go to Denver where she drank it?
Or it took
no, she was in Denver.
Yeah, she was
when it
on vacation in Denver when she drank it. Yeah, so they had to first figure that out, and then they did decide it was going to be Denver, and then this whole cast of characters, all her close relations, anybody, they were trying to find out who did it. They never really figured out who did it.
That sounds like it would be a very good whoddunit movie.
Yeah.
They should make. I think you should advocate for that.
I will. Filmed. I think. I mean, there's a book about it. It's actually the Jerathmal's great grandson wrote this book about his own family history and like exploring. And then at the end, the author has a decision where he thinks he knows who did it. Yeah. So it's a really cool.
That's cool.
Like lore that we have. It's a really happened. 1890s. It was like in all the papers. It was like a big thing. And so we're gonna make the murder mystery beer tour out of it. We're gonna have it be like a puzzle room on the van, and then do
cool.
a beer tasting.
I
and
love
then
that.
switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Really cool. Everybody loves
innovative,
that.
man. That's great.
Yeah, I'm coming up. I'm trying over
just
here.
you know, not to bring the ghost tour back up, but as a downtown spot.
Yeah.
This space we're in right now, the Stubicle, is rumored to be very haunted.
Oh, is that
so?
Right?
Just something to say
So
as one of the
consider.
original Johnson & Wales buildings, right? We can dig into it.
Well,
but,
yeah, because Xavier Hall has the haunted nun or whatever.
Yeah. There was
I lived there.
it's like a girl that haunts this building.
Girl.
So anyways,
I think Courtney had I don't know if she had something to say about that one, or I think she mentioned it on
the
some
Xavier
tour.
one. Yeah.
Xavier. Yeah.
And at Brown too, they have a bunch of haunting. But
Exactly.
Either way.
Yeah,
just something to think about. You know, just a little food for thought.
Actually, when I'm plotting out my route for it, it is kind of, we're starting at the Biltmore.
Right.
And so coming all the way up here might be challenging, but I stayed in Xavier when I was a student here, so I'm familiar with what the students say about the haunting and stuff. Yeah. So
thank you very much for being on the podcast with us today.
Yeah.
Can you let people know where they can find your stuff, where they can follow you, where they can buy tickets and everything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's pvdtourco.com. That's PVD like Providence, the word tour, and then CO for company. And that's our handle for Facebook, Instagram, and our website.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thanks again for being on the podcast, and we can't wait to take some more tours.
No, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
PVD POV is a podcast hosted by the Providence Warwick Convention and Visitors Bureau in collaboration with the College of Hospitality Management and Center of Media Production at Johnson & Wales University. Hosts are Alana Cerrone-O'Hare and Nick Millard. Production by Professor Brian Lavin with assistance from the graduate students in tourism management. Episodes are available wherever you download your podcasts. Visit GoProvidence.com for more information on these stories and everything else Providence.